There are plenty of misconceptions about the Sacramento Kings, with a lot of people questioning our defense and saying that we're too offensively oriented. But little do they know that our star duo actually ranks top 3 in these defensive categories. Sup guys, so an absolutely insane report came out that got our star duo in Domantas Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox ranked top 3 in these defensive categories, and we're going to get into them later on in the video. But welcome back to Kings Digest, the channel that showcases all of the upcoming Sacramento Kings news, so make sure you subscribe to the channel, as YouTube still tells me that 89% of you guys that watch my videos aren't yet subscribed. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let's try to get to 500 subs before the next season gets here. And make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any future content. Now, let's head over to today's report, as it got most of the NBA media make flawed assumptions about the Sacramento Kings, thinking that they are a bad defensive team. But the improvements that Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray have individually made on that side of the ball are phenomenal. But Sacramento's defensive talent goes way deeper than that. And obviously, Keon Ellis made such an improvement at the end of last season, and I've made a whole video about that in my last video if you wanted to check that out. But what he done last season for us when he stepped up and got the minutes was nothing short of phenomenal, as he showcased to the league that he's going to be one of the league's most bright up and coming 3-and-D wings. And I mean, he's already got that potential to be elite in his category. And then you got Keegan Murray, who's he's destined to make that next big leap this season, hopefully. I mean, he's already such a young, bright star for us. I'm just hoping that he can take that next step. And if he can just be, anything close to what he has been for us, he's going to be a great fit for us, a great piece. And he's definitely going to help us contend in the stacked Western Conference next season. But let's head over to the next report, as it says that our talent goes way deeper than that, as Domantas Sabonis is widely recognized for his impressive playmaking, rebounding, and physicality, but people bash his defense far too heavily. While Sabonis does not get a ton of blocks and is not the most dominant shot influencer, he still gets it done in the post. The Basketball Index gave a list of the top 10 most impactful post defenders in the NBA, and putting Sabonis in the 3rd spot. As you got Yusuf Nurkic, Kevin Looney, Domantas Sabonis ranked 3rd, and then you got Clint Capella, Zubac. But Domantas Sabonis is in this list with a lot of phenomenal shot blocking bigs. I mean, you see names like Chet Holmgren, Jarrett Allen, boys who are phenomenal at altering shots and just rejecting shots at the rim. Clint Capella's there as well. And I mean, it's going to come to a shock to a lot of people that Domantas Sabonis is making the list, and he's actually ranked higher than a lot of the elite shot blockers in today's league. But that just goes to show that his impact doesn't showcase too much on the stats, as he's more so just a really physical brick wall down in the post, and it's kind of hard to get around him. While he doesn't really have that vertical leap to contest you at the rim and get those blocks to fill up his stats, he will make it more difficult for you to even get to your lane and be able to drive comfortably and attack the rim, as he's just going to be a brick wall, a solid player that's just going to not let anybody get comfortable and get to their spot on the floor. And so it actually showcases there, as he's ranked top 3, and he doesn't really have many defensive stats, and a lot of people just wouldn't expect him to be ranked as high as he is on a list such as this. But let's head over to the other report. Sabonis is ranked ahead of some of the best shot blockers in the league, but his best ability on defense is becoming a brick wall in the post. Sure, the Kings could use a more influential shot blocker at times, but in the grand scheme of things, Sabonis' interior defense gets the job done. And a lot of people do want us to get or try to find a trade or try to pick up somebody who can maybe be that elite shot blocker for us, but honestly, this post isn't lying, as Sabonis' interior defense is going to get the job done for us, and I do believe that next season he will play phenomenal and he will do his job and he will protect the paint to the best of his ability, and I do think it will be enough for us. But as this report states, another underrated defender in Sacramento is Sabonis' star counterpart, De'Aaron Fox. The flashy point guard is one of the most talented offensive players in the NBA, but his defense is vastly overlooked. Basketball Index compiled the top 10 pickpocketers in the league, where Fox ranked second best at stealing from the opposing ball handler. And clearly, De'Aaron Fox is one of the league's most talented offensive players and one of the league's most clutch players. A phenomenal playmaker, and he's probably fairly underrated when it comes to the top point guards in today's league, as not a lot of people are, ranking him in the top 5 point guards. But he definitely has that talent, and his defense is vastly overlooked, as not too many people mention that about him, but he averaged 2 steals per game last season, and when it comes to defending opposing ball handlers, he's not just getting his steals off of, deflecting passes and reading passes. He is, excellent at just hounding defenders or hounding opposing offensive ball handlers, and just with his quick hands and quick defensive instincts, he knows just when to reach, and it leads to a lot of transition buckets. And I mean, that showcases that Sacramento's transition game is one of our most prominent offensive plays. And I mean, that is just something that goes to show De'Aaron Fox, his ability to get steals and lead the transition is what makes Sacramento's offense, elite when it comes to our fast-paced offense. But let's head over to the last report for today, as it got the top 10 in pickpocket rating, steals when guarding the ball handler. They got De'Aaron Fox ranked second, and you got guys like Dyson Daniels and SGA, Jose Alvarado's there as well. I mean, just some of the league's most elite perimeter defenders, and De'Aaron Fox is up there. He got 2 steals a game last season, and he's showcased to the league that he can cause havoc to opposing ball handlers, and you definitely do not want to see him guarding you when you are dribbling the ball up the court, as soon as you cross half, he is going to bring havoc and cause nothing but trouble for you. And as this report states, this statistic is not much of a surprise as Sabonis' ranking, as Fox was tied with OKC's guard SGA for the most steals per game in the NBA last season with 2 per game. Fox's quick hands have led to so many transition buckets for Sacramento, and his ability to get stops on defense is not talked about enough when talking about the Kings' underrated defense. And I do believe that De'Aaron Fox is vastly overlooked and underrated when it comes to his defensive abilities, and as I do believe the Sacramento Kings is underrated as well when it comes to our defensive abilities, as the NBA media just loves to bash our defensive abilities, as I do not think that we are as bad as what people make us out to be, as we have 2 budding young stars in Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray, and Devin Carter too. When he comes back from his injury, he was the most menacing defender in this draft. We got him on our roster hoping for a speedy recovery from him, but then we also got Sabonis' underrated defense, and De'Aaron Fox being the underrated defender that he is as well. I mean, I think we are just set for a good next season, and I do think that is not going to be as much of an issue for us as what a lot of people make it out to be. But anyways, guys, that's all for today's video. Let me know down in the comments what you believe our defense is going to look like for next season, and if you think it's going to be as big of a problem as what a lot of the NBA media makes it out to be, as they pretty much rule us out of contention in the playoffs, basically due to our lack of defense. But little do they know that we actually got the defense and we got the offensive firepower to do some damage in the league. Now, let me know down in the comments what you think of it all, and peace out. I'll see you in the next video.